Talia Morgan looked out the window of the spaceship horizon. The stars were bright against the black of space. She was the main doctor on this ship. Her job was to keep everyone healthy. Today was supposed to be like any other day. That changed when Captain Olivia Winters called everyone to the bridge. "We found something," said Olivia. Her voice was steady, but her eyes showed excitement. "A ship. Not one of ours." Talia felt her heart beat faster. "Aliens?" she asked. Olivia nodded. "The ship looks damaged. They might need help." The crew watched as the strange ship came into view. It was unlike anything they had seen before. The ship was long and curved, with a surface that seemed to glow with soft blue light. It floated without moving in the darkness of the Kuiper Belt far from Earth. "I want to help them," said Olivia. "Dr. Morgan, get your medical kit ready. We're going to see if anyone is hurt." Talia rushed to the medical bay. Her hands shook as she packed bandages, medicines, and tools. Humans had never met aliens before, at least not officially. There were stories and rumors, but no proof. Until now. The team used a small shuttle to reach the alien ship. When they got close, a door opened by itself. Inside, the air was breathable. The walls glowed with the same blue light they had seen from outside. "Hello?" called Olivia. Her voice echoed in the empty hall. A door slid open at the end of the hall. A tall figure stood there. Talia gasped. The alien was beautiful. She had blue skin that shimmered in the light. Patterns like swirling stars covered her arms and face. Her eyes were silver, with no pupils, yet Talia felt them looking right at her. The alien wore a simple white outfit that seemed to flow around her like water. "You are humans," said the alien. Her voice was musical with a slight echo. "We thought you were just stories." "We thought the same about you," said Olivia. "I'm Captain Olivia Winters of the Earthship Horizon. We saw your ship was damaged. We came to offer help." The alien bowed slightly. "I am Nalara, Chief Medical Officer of the Zelaxian vessel Starlight Wanderer. Our ship was damaged when we escaped from our enemies. Many of my people are sick. I have tried to help them, but..." She looked down, her silver eyes dimming. "I am failing." Talia stepped forward. "I'm Dr. Talia Morgan. I might be able to help." Nalara looked at her with surprise. "You would help us? You do not know us. You're hurt." "That's all I need to know," said Talia. Nalara led them deeper into the ship. They passed more aliens with the same blue skin. Some looked scared. Others looked curious. All of them seemed weak or sick. The medical bay was large, with beds that floated in the air. Strange. Machines blinked and hummed. Talia had never seen technology like this. It made Earth's best equipment look like toys. "Our people are dying," said Nalara. "We have a sickness that spreads quickly. Our medicines do not work anymore." Talia looked at the sick aliens. They had dark blue spots on their skin. Some had trouble breathing. She took out her tools and began to examine one of the patients. "Your technology is amazing," said Talia. "But sometimes the simplest solution works best. May I take a sample to study?" Nalara nodded. As Talia worked, the alien doctor watched closely. Their hands brushed as they both reached for the same tool. Talia felt a strange tingle like a small electric shock. Nalara felt it too. Their eyes met. "What was that?" asked Talia. "I do not know," said Nalara. Her voice was softer now. "But it was interesting." They worked together for hours. Talia discovered that the aliens were sick with something like a fungus. It was simple to treat with earth medicines. As the first patient started to get better, Nalara's silver eyes shined brighter. "You have saved us," she said to Talia. "We have traveled so far, running from the Draconid hegemony. They want to capture us, to study us. They think we are weak, because we seek peace. We barely escaped them." "Who are the Draconids?" asked Olivia. "Warriors. Conquerors," said Nalara. "They look like what you might call reptiles. They have black scales and weapons built into their bodies. They take over worlds and use the people as slaves or test subjects. Talia felt cold fear in her stomach. And they followed you here to our solar system? Nalara looked down. Yes, and now they know about you too. When your ship came to help us, their spy drones detected you. The Draconids will come. They always do. Olivia's face became serious. Then we need to prepare. Earth needs to know about this threat. We will help you, said Nalara. It is the least we can do. Our technologies may help protect your world. That night, as the human crew returned to their ship, Talia stayed behind to check on the patients. Nalara showed her around the Zalaxian ship. They talked about their worlds, their lives, their hopes. Our peoples are different, said Nalara, as they stood by a window looking at the stars. But also the same in many ways. Talia smiled. That's what I was thinking too. Would you like to learn more about our medicine? Asked Nalara. We could teach each other. I'd like that very much, said Talia. Neither of them knew that this was just the beginning. In 3 months, the Draconid ships would arrive. The war would begin. But for now, in this quiet moment between two people from different worlds, there was hope. Talia looked at Nalara's face, at the patterns that shifted like stars across her blue skin. She felt something new, and strange, and wonderful, the first human to feel this way about someone from another world. As they watched the stars together, the horizon and the Starlight Wanderer floated side by side in the darkness of space. Two ships from two worlds, brought together by chance. Or perhaps by something more than chance, perhaps by destiny. 3 months passed quickly. Earth governments agreed to help the Zalaxians. In return, the aliens shared some of their technology. Both sides wanted to learn from each other before the Draconids arrived. Talia now lived on the Zalaxian medical ship called Celestial Mercy. She was part of a team of 20 humans working with the aliens. Her job was to teach the Zalaxians about human medicine while learning their healing methods. Nalara and Talia worked together every day. They became close friends. Sometimes, Talia caught Nalara looking at her with those silver eyes. It made her heart beat faster. Your species is so different from mine, Nalara said one day as they ate lunch. Zalaxians ate only soft, blue foods that tasted like sweet flowers. How do you mean? Asked Talia. We Zalaxians create new life through spores, said Nalara. She pointed to the patterns on her skin. These hold our genetic material. When the time is right, they release spores that join with others to create a new Zalaxian. That's amazing, said Talia. Humans reproduce sexually, with males and females. Nalara tilted her head. We have studied this, but it is still confusing to us. Your bodies are so complex. Their conversation was cut short by an alarm. A training accident had happened in another part of the ship. 3 human crew members were hurt. They were brought to the medical bay quickly. I will help, said Nalara. It is time I practice what you have taught me about human medicine. The first 2 patients had minor cuts and burns. Nalara treated them perfectly. The third patient was Heather Daniels, a young engineer with a leg injury. She lay on the floating medical bed, her uniform torn. I need to check your wounds, said Nalara to Heather. I will remove your clothing. Heather nodded, too much in pain to speak. Nalara carefully cut away the torn uniform. She examined the cut on Heather's thigh. It was not serious. But as Nalara continued her exam, she saw something that made her gasp loudly. Emergency, Nalara shouted. This human has severe inflammation. I need assistance. Alarms blared throughout the medical bay. 6 more Zalaxian doctors rushed into the room. They crowded around Heather, who looked confused and embarrassed. What's happening? Heather asked. Am I dying? Talia ran into the room. She pushed through the crowd of blue-skinned aliens. What's wrong? What's the emergency? Nalara pointed between Heather's legs. This inflammation. I've never seen anything like it in our studies of humans. It must be a new disease. Talia looked where Nalara was pointing. Then she tried very hard not to laugh. Nalara, she said gently, that's not an inflammation or disease. That's normal female human anatomy. The room went quiet. Nalara's blue skin turned slightly purple, a Zalaxian blush. But it looks so different from the rest of the body. The color, the shape. I can explain, said Talia, but maybe not with an audience. The other Zalaxian doctors left, still curious but trying to be polite. Heather was given privacy to dress her wound and put on new clothes. Talia took Nalara to her office. I'm so sorry, said Nalara. Her voice shook with embarrassment. I thought she was very sick. It's okay, said Talia. You didn't know. Your species reproduces differently. Of course, human bodies would be strange to you. I must learn more, said Nalara, if I am to be a good doctor for both our peoples. That evening, Talia gave a special class for the Zalaxian medical team. She showed diagrams of human bodies and explained how humans reproduced. The Zalaxians asked many questions. Some questions made Talia blush, but she answered them all honestly. So humans feel pleasure from reproduction? Asked one Zalaxian doctor. For us, releasing spores is like sneezing. Yes, said Talia. It's very different for humans. After the class, Nalara walked Talia back to her quarters. The halls of the ship were quiet. Most of the crew was sleeping. I learned much today, said Nalara, but I still have many questions. You can ask me anything, said Talia. They reached Talia's door. Nalara seemed nervous. The patterns on her skin were moving faster than usual. I have been feeling strange things since we met, said Nalara. When we touch, I feel a spark. When you smile, my heart beats faster. I think about you when we are not together. She looked down at her hands. Is this how humans feel when they care for someone? Talia felt warmth spread through her chest. Yes, she said softly. That's exactly how it feels. Can two females feel this way about each other among humans? Asked Nalara. Yes, said Talia. Love is love no matter who feels it. Nalara's silver eyes seemed to glow brighter. Love, she repeated. Is that what this is? Talia took Nalara's hand. The blue skin was soft and warm. Maybe, she said, but I'm afraid too. Of what? We're so different, said Talia. Our bodies, our worlds, and with the Draconids coming. Is there even time for us to explore these feelings? Nalara gently touched Talia's face. Different does not mean impossible. And if war is coming, isn't that more reason to hold on to good things while we can? Talia leaned closer. Their faces were inches apart. She could smell Nalara's scent, like fresh rain and flowers. The moment was broken by a loud alarm. Red lights flashed in the hallway. A voice spoke over the speakers in the Zalaxian language, then in English. All crew to emergency stations. Unknown ships detected entering the solar system. Possible Draconid signature. Nalara's face showed fear. They're here, she whispered. Sooner than we expected. Talia squeezed Nalara's hand. We'll face them together, she said. They ran to the medical bay to prepare for what was coming. Their conversation about love would have to wait. War had arrived. As they prepared medicines and set up beds for the wounded, Talia looked at Nalara across the room. The alien woman worked quickly, her hand steady despite her fear. Talia made a silent promise to herself. They would survive this. They would have time to discover what was growing between them. But first they had to face the Draconids. The Celestial Mercy shook as another blast hit its shields. Talia grabbed a shelf to keep from falling. Medical supplies crashed to the floor around her. The Draconid attack had begun 2 hours ago. It was worse than anyone expected. Status report, Talia called to the computer. A calm voice answered, shield strength at 30%. Hull breaches on decks 4 and 7. Enemy boarding parties detected. Nalara rushed into the medical bay. Her silver eyes were wide with fear. They're inside the ship, she said. The Draconids broke through our defenses. The medical bay was full of injured crew members, both human and Zalaxian. Some had burns from electrical fires. Others had cuts from falling debris. The worst cases were those hit by Draconid weapons. Their wounds glowed with an angry red light. We need to protect our patients, said Talia. Can we seal the medical bay? Nalara nodded. She pressed her hand to a panel on the wall. The doors slid shut with a heavy thud. This will hold them for a while, she said, but not forever. Then we need weapons, said Talia. She looked around the room. Can any of your medical tools be used to defend ourselves? Nalara looked shocked. Use healing tools as weapons? That goes against everything we believe. I know, said Talia gently. But if the Draconids get in here, they'll hurt everyone. Sometimes we have to fight to protect others. Nalara was quiet for a moment. Then she nodded. You're right. I have an idea. She went to a cabinet and took out several small silver devices. These are tissue regenerators, but if I change the settings... Her fingers moved quickly over the controls. Now they will stun instead of heal. Talia smiled. That's perfect. Show the other medical staff how to use them. While Nalara taught the others, Talia checked on the patients. Many were scared. She spoke softly to each one, trying to keep them calm. But she was scared too. The Draconids were known for their cruelty. They captured other species to study them, to experiment on them. Suddenly the lights flickered and went out. Emergency lights came on, casting the room in a dull red glow. They've cut the main power, said Nalara. The backup systems won't last long. A loud bang came from the main door. Then another. Something was trying to break in. Everyone. Get back, Talia shouted. Move the patients to the far wall. The medical team rushed to obey. They pushed the floating beds to the back of the room, forming a barrier with supply cabinets. The banging got louder. The door began to dent inward. Then, with a screech of metal, it broke open. Draconids poured into the room. They were tall and muscular, with black scales covering their bodies. Their eyes glowed yellow in the dim light. Metal parts were built into their arms and chests. Weapons and tools fused with their flesh. Stunning weapons ready, called Nalara. The medical team raised their modified regenerators. Fire, shouted Talia. Beams of blue light shot from the devices. Some hit their targets. Draconids fell to the floor, their bodies twitching. But there were too many. They kept coming. One Draconid aimed a weapon at Nalara. Without thinking, Talia jumped in front of her. Pain exploded in her leg as the energy blast hit her. She fell to the floor, blood pouring from a deep cut in her thigh. Talia! Screamed Nalara. She fired her stunner at the Draconid, hitting it in the face. It fell backward. Nalara knelt beside Talia. Blood was pooling on the floor. The blast! Cut your artery, she said, her voice shaking. You're losing too much blood. Talia felt cold. Her vision was getting dark around the edges. Keep fighting, she whispered. Protect the patients. The battle raged around them. More Draconids fell, but so did members of the medical team. It was a losing fight. Nalara looked at Talia's pale. First, I won't let you die, she said. She made a decision. From a hidden pocket in her uniform, she took out a small container. Inside was something that looked like a tiny glowing jellyfish. What is that? Asked Talia weakly. A symbiote, said Nalara. It's forbidden to use these on other species, but it's the only way to save you. She placed the symbiote on Talia's wound. At first, Talia felt nothing. Then a warm sensation spread through her leg. The symbiote melted into her skin. The pain faded, but something else happened too. Suddenly she could feel Nalara's emotions: fear, determination, and love. I can feel you in my mind, gasped Talia. And I can feel you, said Nalara. The symbiote has connected us. It will heal your wound, but the connection, that will remain. Talia's strength returned quickly. The symbiote was closing her wound, stopping the bleeding. She could stand again, but more importantly, she could sense what Nalara was thinking. We need to work together, said Talia. I can feel your ideas. They're brilliant. Nalara nodded. I see your plans too. Let's do this. Moving as one, they began to fight back. Talia could anticipate the Draconids' movements through Nalara's eyes. Nalara could understand human tactics through Talia's thoughts. They were two bodies but one mind. The regenerators, thought Talia. If we overload them, they'll create a pulse that will disable the Draconid's technology, finished Nalara out loud. Yes! They quickly gathered the remaining regenerators. Nalara modified them while Talia defended her. When they were ready, they placed them around the room. Everyone get down, shouted Talia. The devices exploded with blue light. A wave of energy washed over the room. The Draconids screamed as their technological implants short-circuited. They fell to the ground, unable to move. In the silence that followed, Talia and Nalara looked at each other. Their minds were still connected. Thoughts and feelings flowed between them. I was so afraid I'd lose you, thought Nalara. You saved me, thought Talia. But why did the Draconids want us so badly? There must be a reason. They turned to look at one of the fallen Draconids. It was still conscious, its yellow eyes watching them with hate. Talia knelt beside it. Why attack us? What do you want? The Draconid hissed. Its voice was rough, like stones grinding together. Humans, it said. We know humans, long ago, dangerous, must study, must control. Talia was confused. You've met humans before? How is that possible? Different stars, different time, said the Draconid. Humans fight, humans win, humans dangerous, must stop before they grow stronger. Nalara and Talia shared a look. Through their connection, they understood the truth. The Draconids had encountered humans somewhere else in the galaxy, perhaps centuries ago. They feared what humans might become. And the Zalaxians? Asked Nalara. Why hunt us? Zalaxians help humans, hissed the Draconid. Make humans stronger. Both must be controlled. Before they could ask more questions, alarms sounded throughout. The ship. The computer announced. Draconid vessels retreating. Repeat. Enemy vessels retreating. They're running away? Said Talia in surprise. No, said Nalara grimly. They're regrouping. This was just the first attack. They'll be back and in greater numbers. Talia looked at the wounded in the medical bay, then at the fallen Draconids, finally at Nalara. Through their connection, she felt the alien woman's determination. Then we'll be ready, said Talia. Together. The symbiote pulsed between them, strengthening their bond. They would need this connection in the days to come. The real war was just beginning. 6 weeks passed quickly. The Earth prepared for war as best it could. Ships from all nations joined together to form a defense fleet. But human technology was far behind the Draconids. Their only real advantage was the alliance with the Zalaxians, and, perhaps, the unique bond between Talia and Nalara. After the symbiote joined them, they could share thoughts and feelings across any distance. This strange connection allowed them to combine human and Zalaxian knowledge in new ways. They worked day and night, using their link to develop weapons and shields that might stand a chance against the Draconid fleet. They were in the lab on Earth when the alarm sounded. The Draconid fleet had arrived. It's time, said Talia. She looked at Nalara, whose blue skin seemed paler than usual. Through their bond, Talia could feel her fear. Hey, she said softly, taking Nalara's hand. We can do this. Nalara squeezed Talia's hand. I'm scared, she admitted. Not for myself, but for both our peoples. If we fail, we won't, said Talia firmly. Come on, we need to get to the medical ship. They ran outside. The sky above was filled with ships. Huge Draconid vessels moved into Earth's orbit, their black hulls blocking out the stars. Earth's smaller ships rose to meet them, alongside the remaining Zalaxian vessels. A transport took Talia and Nalara to their new medical station. It was a hybrid facility, built with both human and Zalaxian technology. Here they would treat the wounded from the battle above. Dr. Morgan, Dr. Nalara, said a voice as they entered. Admiral Kate Sullivan stood waiting for them. She was the commander of Earth's Defense Force. We need your help, not just as doctors. What do you mean? Asked Talia. Your connection, said Admiral Sullivan. We can use it to coordinate our forces. The Zalaxians understand the Draconid ships better than we do. If you can share that knowledge with our gunners in real time. Nalara nodded. We can do it. Through our bond, I can show Talia the weak points in Draconid technology. And I can pass that information to our ships, said Talia. We'll need a communication station set up in the medical bay. We can help the wounded and guide the battle at the same time. Within an hour, they were ready. The medical bay filled. Quickly as the battle began, human and Zalaxian doctors worked side by side, treating plasma burns and radiation poisoning. All the while, Talia and Nalara sat at a communication station, their hands touching to strengthen their bond. Their shield generators are located at the base of the command tower, thought Nalara, picturing the Draconid flagship. Talia relayed this to Admiral Sullivan. Minutes later, Earth's ships focused their fire on that spot. One of the Draconid vessels lost its shields. They have a cooling system that can be overloaded, thought Nalara next. Target the vents on the underside of the ship. Again, Talia passed on the information. Another Draconid ship was disabled, but the Draconids were strong. They destroyed many Earth ships. The battle raged for hours, then days. Talia and Nalara worked without rest, treating the wounded and guiding the attack. Through their bond, they shared strength when one grew tired. On the third day, a young scientist named Dr. Samantha Wright came to the medical bay. She looked exhausted but excited. I've been studying the Draconid prisoner we captured, she said, and I've made a discovery. Their implants aren't just weapons, they're control devices. What do you mean? Asked Talia. The Draconids aren't acting on their own, explained Dr. Wright. They're being controlled through their implants. If we could disable those implants without hurting the Draconids themselves, Nalara's silver eyes widened. We could end the war without more killing. Through their bond, Talia and Nalara began to work on the idea. They combined Zalaxian understanding of biology with human knowledge of electronics. Together they helped Dr. Wright develop a signal that would disrupt the Draconid implants. It's ready, said Dr. Wright after 12 hours of work. But we need to broadcast it from the Draconid flagship. Someone has to get aboard. We'll go, said Talia immediately. Nalara nodded in agreement. Admiral Sullivan didn't like the idea, but they had no choice. A small team was assembled. Talia, Nalara, Dr. Wright, and 4 soldiers. They would use a captured Draconid shuttle to approach the flagship undetected. The plan worked at first. They docked with the flagship without being noticed, but as they moved through the dark corridors of the massive ship, they were spotted by a patrol. "Run!" shouted one of the soldiers as energy blasts filled the air. They ran, taking turns and twists through the ship. 2 of the soldiers fell. The others kept going. Finally, they reached the main control room. The doors were locked. "I can open it," said Nalara. She placed her hand on the control panel. Through their bond, Talia fed her information about human hacking techniques. Together, they bypassed the security. The doors opened to reveal the command center of the Draconid fleet, and there, on a raised platform, was the Supreme Commander. Unlike the other Draconids, she was female, with scales that shimmered with a green tint. Her eyes were not yellow but a deep purple, and she was covered in implants more than any Draconid they had seen before. "Humans," she hissed. "Zalaxians, you dare to board my ship?" "We're here to end this war," said Talia, "to free your people from control." The Supreme Commander laughed. It was a harsh, painful sound. "Free them? They are nothing without guidance, as I am nothing without my master." "Your master?" asked Nalara. "Who controls you?" A look of pain crossed the Draconid's face. "The architect," she whispered, "always watching, always punishing." She raised a clawed hand to her head, where a large implant was embedded in her skull. Through their bond, Talia and Nalara realized the truth. The Supreme Commander was as much a victim as anyone else. She was a prisoner in her own body, "We can help you," said Talia gently. "We have a way to disable the implants without harming you." The Supreme Commander's purple eyes showed a flicker of hope. Then it was gone, replaced by rage. "No," she roared. "I will not betray the architect." She lunged at them. The remaining soldiers fired their weapons, but the blasts bounced off her scales. She knocked them aside easily. Dr. Wright fell next, the device she had built skidding across the floor. Talia dove for the device while Nalara distracted the Supreme Commander. Through their bond, they coordinated perfectly. As the Draconid turned to strike Nalara, Talia activated the device. A pulse of energy filled the room. The Supreme Commander froze. All around the ship, the sound of Draconids falling to the floor echoed through the corridors. On the view screens, they could see the Draconid fleet stopping its attack. The Supreme Commander fell to her knees. The implants on her body went dark. She looked up at Talia and Nalara, her purple eyes clear for the first time. "Thank you," she whispered. "I am Jisvara, and I have been a prisoner for 200 years. Talia helped her stand. "The war is over," she said. "Now we can talk about peace." Through their bond, Talia felt Nalara's joy and relief. They had done it. They had saved both their worlds. But as they looked at Jisvara, they realized this was just the beginning. "Who is the architect?" asked Nalara. "And why does it want to control so many worlds?" Jisvara's face darkened. "The architect is not of this galaxy," she said. "It came from beyond, seeking worlds to harvest. My people were the first it found. Then it used us to find others." "Will it come looking for its lost fleet?" asked Talia. "Eventually," said Jisvara. "But now, thanks to you, we have time to prepare. Together." As they left the control room to return to Earth, Talia and Nalara's hands found each other. Through their bond, they shared a single thought. Whatever came next, they would face it as one. 1 year after the Battle of Earth, Talia stood by a large window in the new Interspecies Medical Academy in Geneva. The building was a beautiful mix of human and Zalaxian design. Glass and steel blended with the flowing, organic shapes that Zalaxians preferred. "Thinking deep thoughts?" asked Nalara, coming to stand beside her. The blue-skinned alien woman wore a white coat over her traditional clothes. The symbol of the Academy, 3 DNA strands twisted together, was pinned to her collar. "Just remembering how far we've come," said Talia. Through their bond, she shared images of their first meeting, the battle with the Draconids, and the peace that followed. Nalara smiled. "And thinking about how far we still have to go." They were co-directors of the Academy, teaching doctors from 3 species how to care for patients unlike themselves. Humans, Zalaxians, and yes, even Draconids studied here. It wasn't always easy. There were cultural misunderstandings, language barriers, and old fears to overcome. But they were making progress. "The dignitaries will be here soon," said Nalara. "Are you ready for the demonstration?" Talia nodded. "As ready as I'll ever be." Today they would show the leaders of Earth's nations and the representatives from Zalaxia and the freed Draconid worlds how far medical cooperation had come. It was an important moment for the Alliance. They walked together to the main lecture hall. Students filled the seats, humans with their varied skin tones, Zalaxians with their blue skin and shifting patterns, and Draconids with their dark scales. Once enemies, now learning to work together. At the front of the hall, a medical bed held their demonstration patient. It was a young Draconid named Kavrax. He had volunteered to help show how the 3 species' medical knowledge could work together. "Good morning," said Talia to the gathered crowd. "Today we will demonstrate a new treatment for radiation poisoning that combines techniques from all our worlds." Nalara continued, "Draconid scales can absorb radiation, but too much causes cellular damage. Human cancer treatments can help repair this damage, and Zalaxian regeneration technology can speed the healing process." The dignitaries watched with interest as Talia and Nalara began the demonstration. Through their bond, they worked in perfect harmony, each knowing what the other needed before they asked. But something went wrong. Kavrak suddenly gasped in pain. His body stiffened. The monitors around him began to beep urgently. "He's having an allergic reaction to the human medication," said Talia, her voice calm despite her alarm. "His immune system is attacking the treatment," added Nilara. Heart rate increasing, blood pressure dropping. The dignitaries murmured with concern. This was supposed to be a simple demonstration. Now it was a medical emergency. Talia and Nilara didn't speak, they didn't need to. Through their bond, they shared ideas faster than words could express them. Talia remembered a case from her training on Earth. Nilara recalled a similar reaction in a Zalaxian patient. Together, they formed a new treatment plan. "I need 20 cc's of epinephrine," said Talia. "And a Zalaxian cellular stabilizer," added Nilara. They worked quickly, their hands moving in perfect coordination. The room was silent except for the beeping monitors and their occasional short commands to the assisting students. Slowly, Kavrax's condition improved. His breathing became regular again. The monitors showed his heart rate returning to normal. "He's stabilizing," said Talia. She looked up at the dignitaries. This wasn't planned, but it shows something important. Medicine isn't always predictable. Bodies are complex. But when we combine our knowledge, we can face challenges that none of us could handle alone. The dignitaries applauded. What had started as a potential disaster had become a powerful demonstration of cooperation. After the lecture, Talia and Nilara checked on Kavrax one more time, then headed to their shared quarters overlooking Lake Geneva. The apartment was a blend of their tastes. Talia's love of warm colors and soft fabrics mixed with Nilara's preference for flowing water features and living plants. "That was close today," said Talia, sinking onto the couch. "I was scared for a minute there. No," said Nilara. "I felt your fear, but I also felt your confidence. You knew we could save him." "We saved him together," said Talia, "just like we saved Earth and Zalaxia and the Draconids." Nilara sat beside her, taking her hand. The symbiote that connected them pulsed gently, strengthening their bond. After a year, they had learned to control it better. They could share thoughts when they wanted to, or keep them private when they needed space. "I've been thinking," said Nilara. "About us, about our future." Talia smiled. "I know. I've felt your thoughts circling around something important." "Is it too soon to talk about making our bond more official?" asked Nilara. "I know our species have different customs, but it's not too soon," said Talia softly. "I've been thinking about it too. How would we even do it?" wondered Nilara. "A human wedding? A Zalaxian joining ceremony? Why not both?" suggested Talia. "We could create something new, just for us. Something that honors both our traditions." Nilara's silver eyes shimmered with emotion. Through their bond, Talia felt her joy. "I would like that very much," she said. Their moment was interrupted by a chime from the communication panel. "Dr. Morgan, Dr. Nilara," said a voice. "You're needed at the observatory immediately." They looked at each other with concern. The observatory was where Earth's scientists monitored deep space. If they were being called there, something important had happened. When they arrived, they found Admiral Sullivan waiting with a grim expression. Former Supreme Commander Shisavara was with her, her purple eyes serious. "We've detected a signal," said Admiral Sullivan without preamble, "from beyond the edge of our solar system." "What kind of signal?" asked Nilara. Shisavara answered, "It has the signature of the architect. But it's different somehow. Weaker. Like a call for help." Talia and Nilara shared a look. Through their bond, they had the same question. "Could it be a trap?" asked Talia. "Possibly," said Admiral Sullivan. "But we can't ignore it. If the architect is vulnerable, this might be our only chance to learn more about it. We're sending a ship to investigate," said Shisvara. "A small team. Volunteers only. The risk is significant." "You want us to go?" said Nilara. It wasn't a question. She could feel Talia's thoughts racing ahead to the same conclusion. Admiral Sullivan nodded. Your bond makes you uniquely valuable for first contact situations. You understand each other in ways the rest of us can only imagine, and you've proven yourselves in crisis situations. Talia took a deep breath. When do we leave? Tomorrow. Morning, said Shisavara. The ship is being prepared now. As they walked back to their apartment that night, Talia and Nalara were quiet. Through their bond, they shared their fears and hopes about the mission ahead. We were just talking about our future, said Talia finally, making plans. And now we're heading into danger again, said Nalara. But maybe that is our future. To face the unknown together. To help our peoples navigate this new galaxy we're discovering. Talia stopped walking and turned to face Nalara. The moonlight shone on the alien woman's blue skin, making her patterns glow softly. Whatever happens out there, she said, I'm glad I'm facing it with you. Nalara touched Talia's face gently. When I first met you, I was shocked by how different you were. I even mistook your normal anatomy for an illness. She laughed softly at the memory, but now I know that our differences are what make us strong together. From that embarrassing moment to saving 3 worlds, said Talia with a smile, we've come a long way. And we have further still to go, said Nalara. The architect, whatever it is just the beginning. There's a whole galaxy out there, full of wonders and dangers we can't imagine. Talia took Nalara's hand. Then let's face it together, one step at a time. As they walked hand in hand under the stars, they felt the symbiote pulse between them, a physical manifestation of their bond. Human and alien, once strangers, now closer than any 2 beings had ever been before. Tomorrow they would venture into the unknown again. But tonight, they had each other, and that was enough.